Hey, folks, welcome to the Leeds View podcast for our first podcast of the week, slightly earlier than normal because we do have the Chelsea game tomorrow night. We do these podcasts twice a week, although there might be a couple of extra ones this week because of the match situation. We also do daily Leeds news. If you're following on the audio platforms, you can give us a channel rating and stick a comment if you want it. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe, a like, and let us know what you think of the pod throughout the night. We've got a bit of stuff to get stuck into. I'm joined by Paul and Gerry as per usual on the first podcast of the week. Have a little chat and we'll check in with the boys, see how they are. Paul, how are you, mate? How's things?
Very good. I've suitably recovered since running into you on Friday. Apart from nearly passing out at every single goal that was scored. Genuinely, because I was trying to explain it to you whilst we were walking back to my car whilst you had your biggest bag of McDonald's that I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like I was celebrating and going, oh, but I wasn't breathing. And then I did it until like all of the air went out of my body and I literally fell over twice. Somebody had to pick me up. That's how bad it was. I had to get picked up by somebody. They said, "You all right?" And I just said, "I'm very emotional." But no, it was a really, really good game. I suppose we'll touch on it, but from a pitch point of view, the pitch looked horrifically bad. The whole atmosphere was good. I've got to give Forest fans credit. I thought the banter between the two sets of fans was very, very good on the night as well. The celebrating the goal, the Dominic Calvert-Lewin thing, and then us being able to do that every single goal where we went, ooh, but it was good. But it was I'm good. I've got some weird cough thing, but I think that's just from screaming my.
So do I.
Do you?
Yeah.
Mate, I told you not to kiss me. I can't.
I couldn't help myself. Sorry.
Listen, I'll look you in the eyes when it happens. I won't make it awkward.
I know you will. Yeah, you make it very uncomfortable. Yeah, I've got a scratchy throat. Back of my throat's very scratchy and a weird cough. So yeah, I was blaming Ryan here. But there you go. Around too many people. I don't do people normally, so surrounded by lots of people. Lots of hugging, Gerry. There was lots of hugging.
Yeah. We had lots of hugging. I feel okay. I feel okay considering how close we got for all three goals. It was good. I keep looking at the linesman. The linesman said it's a goal. Yeah, I'm just picturing Paul. Just have that picture in my mind. It was very wet night. It was a great night. It was fine. We got sweets off Barry. Barry gave us some sweets before the game. We had a great atmosphere, as you say. That's when the ball was going in was great. I've never seen a diving chest before. That was great. And remember we were saying Gru Edward playing Longstaff with. As I say, if there's no recordings, I never said that. What a game the little Bulgarian maestro had. He was brilliant, and it was good night all around. Very wet, very wet driving there and back. Enjoyed the crack, and it was good to see you, Ger. We had a good crack, and lots of people surrounding us had good crack. When he wasn't posing for photographs, we were able to talk, which wasn't often, but yeah.
Hey, we were in Gerry. We were in the shop. And there was two Irish guys talking to him in the shop. And they were talking, "I love your stuff." And I remember because he met them at the airport. And then he said that one of them went something about the other guy. And Gerry went, "Oh, yeah, there's one here. I took the hat off." Yeah. And the guy went, "Hey, it's one of the bald ones. Woo!"
Yeah. And then three Irishmen and a Yorkshireman walk into the club shop. There's a joke there somewhere.
There absolutely is. Yeah.
I'm just keeping an eye. Usually sport, I'm just keeping an eye and see who goes first, Keir Starmer or Scott Barker or Prince Andrew. Yeah, but anyway, that's just what I'm looking for upstairs. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the breaking news. I know it. Yeah. But by the way, on that note, shout out to the lads from Gibraltar who we had a chat with, John Foxley as well and his brother, who it's always nice to see at the games and have a chat with them as well. And then I'll do the lads. There was lads from Cavan and Kildare and Newbridge and Carlow in the hotel. So shout out to the guys as well that we got to have a chat with. So yeah, nice to see everybody. But yeah, cracking night at Ellen Road, cracking atmosphere. The Forest fans were very boisterous and loud until half time, and then a lot of them seemed to not come back, which was interesting. Not sure what that was all about. Maybe they just got lost in the West Stand and couldn't find a way back to their seats. Because they would never leave early. We'd never go home at half time. Surely, no one would do that.
I've never done it. Yeah. Never done it.
Did listen to TalkSport as well coming back, and I don't always listen to TalkSport, but there was Forest fans phoning in, And they are really worried about Wolverhampton Wanderers this weekend. They are proper worried that they could lose that game. Bearing in mind, Wolves haven't won one game all season and are currently sitting on 8 points, despite the little mini revival. They've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And they're worried about that. But so are West Ham fans. They're not overly comfortable. Paul was telling me today they've got some injury problems. We'll get stuck into that in a sec. And Gerry, are Spurs in this? Are they in the mix with this now as well? Because we are dead level on points with them, and we've got a better record over the last 5 games than they do.
I think so. As Al Pacino once said, I got out of this and they pulled me back in, or words to that effect. Yeah, they're level on points with us. Why aren't they in it? They've got horrendous injuries, which they need to look at because they've had 2 years of that. The medical staff, I'm no expert. The way they played against Man United on Saturday, I was cheering and I had a shower afterwards. I was hoping they would win, not cheering, but a little yes when they scored. Yeah, bleach and everything. I'll do it with Chelsea. I'm not proud. Romario got sent off again, so he's out for 4 games. The second send off, and yeah, they are struggling. And their fixture list isn't getting easier. They're in the Champions League somehow, which is a bit mad. Yeah, of course they're in it. And Palace, Brighton only 2 points ahead. It's all about perspective. And us as Leeds fans are always angst, and we're worried, and we're looking, we're only 6 points. Yeah, we're probably right to do that. But everybody I've spoken to, all sorts of fans, going, what are you worried about? Leeds are fine. Yeah, you're playing well. Your home form will get you through. Blah blah. Other teams are worried. And if you're on 32, 33 points, you're looking at Leeds. You're looking at West Ham on form. You're looking at Forest, who are decent. And yeah, they are. Then trouble is, will it take more points to survive this year, or is everybody just going to take points off each other? I'm looking at 40 now as a minimum. I think is fair to say, but things can change. The fixtures, which we'll talk about later, are interesting coming up. You think West Ham are going to win 2 games every game, and they're going to catch us up? I keep saying if the gap's 6 points after every series of games, it's fine. So yeah, that's all we can only do what we can do ourselves, and hope someone else helps us out. But there's nothing we can do about that. And it was nice going into those games thinking, well, we've done our job. And if anything happens here, it's a bonus. If not, then we're where we were. And another game ticked off.
Exactly. And Burnley really upset me at the weekend, and Chris Somerville needs to relax and stop coming into the form of his life. A little hamstring twinge right now would be fantastic to see as well. It's interesting that you say that about the teams, Gerry, above us as well. Paul, if you look at the league table, from 11th down, the 3 sides with the best record over the last 5 games are Leeds, Forest, and West Ham.
Yeah.
And that's a very Leeds situation to find ourselves in. It's like all of a sudden the teams in the best form are the 3 sides that are on paper competing for that final spot, which makes you think someone else is going to get pulled into this, absolutely get dragged into this. Because again, if you look at Spurs' form, no wins in the last 5. Brighton, no wins in the last 5. Palace, 1 win in the last 5. That was against Brighton in a poor game. And then you look at Newcastle, 1 win in the last 5, and that came 4 games ago. And you look at Leeds, and we've got a draw, 2 wins, 2 defeats in there, but the defeats at Arsenal are in there as well. So there's lots to be hopeful of, but we are still looking as Leeds fans behind us and going, oh, still only 6 points to West Ham. It's only 5 points to 10th.
It is. It's the people might not grasp the concept of this, but something that Leeds fans do suffer with is a thing called PTSD. It's something that we can't get away from. It is something that affects us. We should technically be looking up now. We should be looking up at the teams that are just above us. We're level on points with Spurs. We're level on points with Spurs. We could potentially draw at the weekend. Spurs could lose. We could go above Spurs. And then it looks even rosier. You start thinking about the points, and it's the number of teams that are between you and the bottom 3. So that makes it massively different. But I do think that there's going to be a surprise team that properly gets dragged into it. And I think going on what I've seen over the last couple of months, it's going to be Spurs. Unless something absolutely drastically changes, I think it's going to be Spurs that gets dragged into it. because I don't think their players. Well, Romaro definitely doesn't, does he? That's his sixth sending off this year.
No,
so that of his career, isn't it? Is it his fourth this year?
Second red card this year.
Second.
But so he's missing.
Come here. Romero did call out the board after the window closed. And then his next contribution is to get red carded. So, I mean, the moral high ground he took, he can give it back now because he's not exactly done. And it wasn't a good tackle. And he's put his team right in the shitter, for lack of a better term. But he's dropped him right. And that's your captain. And that just, you scratch your head at that. I mean, even Thomas Frank was shocked to find out that he has had 6 red cards in his time at Spurs, because I think he said something to the effect of, well, he's not had that many red cards here. And he went, he's 6. He goes, in his career, he goes, no, here. And he's like, oh, didn't know that. So, like, even Thomas Frank got a bit of a reality check on it.
Oh, no, absolutely. The thing that I think is also important, I think you've mentioned it on videos as well, and it's something that I think of quite regularly when, particularly as this running is going on. It's going to concertina. It's going to accordion in terms of where we sat positions-wise. It's going to stretch. It's going to suddenly contract. That will happen over the next few weeks. You know, we need to prepare ourselves for not getting any points in the next 2 games. We hope that isn't the case, but that's what we need to prepare ourselves for. As long as we're bettering or equaling West Ham's results, then it doesn't matter. But there is going to be some crash outs there. Of course, there'll be some crash outs. You know, apparently, according to certain people on Twitter, it's only the bold Leeds United fans that have crash outs about Leeds. But you know, we move. It's just, we just have to be. This is gut check time. This is, you know, the final third of the season. This is we need to just be prepared for what it's going to bring. But the main thing is that we've just got to support as best as they can. That atmosphere against Forest on Friday night was exemplary. It was very, very good. I'll say now as well, I did use a term in the video and said tourist, and I didn't mean it as it sounded. And I explained it. Yeah, somebody gave me shit for it as well, which is fine.
I was going to give you shit for it.
No, it's fine.
It's not about you, Joe.
What I meant was just to clear those things up. What I meant
was tourists kept the lights on in League One.
I know, but what I'm going to just to clarify what I meant by that is people that don't normally go to a game that just by sheer hook or by crook in terms of looking for tickets on the day, get a ticket and go. I didn't mean it tourist in the sense of being tourist, but the positive
non-season ticket holders.
There we go. Thank you for being professional. The point that I was making with that is that it meant that there was people within the East Stand who were making a lot of noise, and it was making everybody else make noise as well, which really, really contributed to the atmosphere on Friday night.
Yeah, and it was loud, it was aggressive, it was all 4 sides, it was great. I loved it, absolutely loved it. It's fantastic, and when it's like that as well. But yeah, to absolutely everybody who goes to the games. I mean, Leeds is not just a fan base of 36,000, you know, it's a much bigger fan base. So not everyone can get in the ground at the same time. So it is great to see everyone getting a crack at it. But yeah, lots of people that were over at the game. Tons of Irish over at the game. Only Leeds pros over at the game as well. The lads were there as well. So loads of Leeds fans that were Irish Leeds fans that were at that match. I think it was 4 flights from Ryanair alone on Friday. And I think Aer Lingus had 2 or 3 as well. So there was, playing loads of us, even that come back. So yeah, it's an interesting one. But it was great atmosphere. But you look at it, and I'm going to show it on the screen, lads. This is where we are after the 4 games that we looked ahead to a couple of weeks back. And I think we had all said that would be the ideal return on it. And pretty much we got what we wanted, 7 points out of a potential 9, which is a very strong position, which again would have been a much stronger position if West Ham just chilled out a little bit. So that's where we are with those ones. Happy enough with that, Gerry? Think that's the return we kind of wanted on it?
Yeah, you were definitely taking 7 points from that. I mean, the Everton game, I suppose, as we were winning, but second half we could have lost that. So no, if you can do that return every 4 games, then you're definitely staying up. And no problems. The Arsenal game, no problems with that. We know we were outplayed, and Fulham and Forest at home. That's all you can do, win your home games, and that's where we've been strong. Is it 6 of our 7 wins have been at home, And that's I'd love to know how that matches with the rest of the league on as far as percentage of their wins. It's an exemplary record, and everybody's talking about the Leeds atmosphere. I think if you look through any of those 19 other teams, who's got a better atmosphere than us at home? There's not many. Maybe Sunderland have got. I always think Palace is a decent one, but I struggle after that. I don't think anybody's as good. Man City, no, I'm only joking. Man City, yeah, they can't even sell their seats for a semi-final of the League Cup. Yeah, it's really poor. So I think, we are well placed. You see those 4 games, we'll get something out of that. I think Sunderland are lucky they've got 36 points, because I think they've done their job, and it's a few injuries, a few players come back from AFCON and that maybe not fully fit or whatever, they might drop a bit, but they've done it. And I think sometimes it's whether it's a good time to play teams. When's a good time? We might be catching Villa at the right time or in great form. Maybe Sunderland. Man City, I don't know if they're pushing on a bit. No. And Chelsea can be flaky. Evelyn Senior comes out with some David Brents tomorrow. Who knows? It might change the course of the team. Luckily, Cole Palmer is looking a bit off it at the moment. First half hat-trick. It's I know there were penalties, 2 of them, but if you tend to commit stupid fouls in the box, you're going to give away a penalty. So we got to avoid doing that, especially at Chelsea. No, we just got to go into these. And remember, we've said it before. Last November, we were talking the same about not getting any points out of the next 3 or 4 games, and look what happened. So the same again. A win, couple of draws, and a defeat that'd be perfect. Even 2 wins. Yeah, that would just set us up. Just keep the clock ticking over and keep the gap with West Ham.
Yeah, to keep plodding along, adding points where you can. Paul, the last time we spoke about a block of games with Manchester City and Chelsea in it, the Daily Mail had published an article saying that Daniel Farke's job was on the line if he didn't get results, and he came out and he got some results. The journalist brought up today in the press conference the Manchester City game and the pivotal moment that was a turnaround from that point on. Daniel Farke is never going to admit that was a pivotal moment, and he didn't. He said we won games before and we won games after. Just going to ignore that little block in the middle. But we're now going to this in a much different position. Those 2 away games, the away record has improved. We've managed to pick up 3 draws in our last 4 away games. Only lost 1 in our last 4 away. So that has improved. Still not the best away record in the league. We know the home record is fantastic. 75% of all of our points this season have come at home. So we know that that's there. We need to get a couple of results on the road. Like, as I've said in this pod before, my brother's an Aston Villa fan. I would love to do that one. Well, I don't know. But they're not in the greatest of form. You can see the form go down there. 1 win in the last 5. Still playing decent football. They've been unlucky in a couple of those games. But Chelsea away, they are in a different run of form, different manager, slightly different setup, as Daniel Farke said today. But can still be got at. And the one frailty that was there against us when we played them in Ellen Road was the physical nature. We liked it, they didn't. That could still be a major factor going into tomorrow night. And if you look, Farke was asked about the possibility of a Mecha DCL up front again. He decided to, for me and Gerry were sitting, we saw Lucas Mecha get sent out for a warm-up to get ready, took his tracks and bottoms off at the 54th minute. He must have come back to the dugout about 4 times and was told to go back out again, and then ended up not coming on the pitch. Felt sorry for him, he was drowned. But Farke said, very sharp in training, looked really, really good. Didn't need to bring him on. So maybe he's just holding him back a little bit to get the fitness a bit better. Could he go with a 2 up top against Chelsea? And again, that aggressive nature of the game could still very much be there for Leeds.
Yeah, my prediction in terms of what I would like to see as a lineup for the game against Chelsea is the 3-5-2 formation, or a hybrid version of the 3-5-2 formation with both Mecha and Calvert-Lewin up top. I just think that caused Chelsea so many problems at Ellen Road, just purely because of the physicality of it. I think that would be sensible thing to do. If he does do it, it'll be interesting, to see. One of the guys that I work with is a Chelsea fan, and he was saying that their biggest worry is their defence at this moment in time. When you look at it in terms of how they played, they concede too many goals, so they're having to score a la against what they did against West Ham. They conceded 2 and then had to go and score 3 to go and win the game. So they do have a tendency to, or they have had a tendency to concede. They seem to be playing a lot more open under Liam Rossini. He's got, listen, you can't knock what he's done. 4 wins.
Makes the pitch very big. They play very wide, very high.
It's very Bielsa-esque is the way that he's doing it.
There's space, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing. For somebody like a Goodmanson or a Bogle, I mean, dare I even throw out, if he's been training and his attitude's right, a Boanorte in there could be somebody that could be quite good. I can see potentially, if Aronson is fit enough, he'll play Aronson, because Aronson's his guy, and you know what you're going to get from Aronson. It's annoyance. It's going to be floating up in and just being in everybody's faces. Yeah. But with that being said, I just think that he's got to go Nemecha. For me, he has to go Nemecha and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. That's what I really like. Just that really strong physicality of not being. And I don't think it's spoken about enough, actually, how good Cal Darlow was on Friday. By the way, I know he let in a goal. Three big saves he made. If you look at from a
vital times,
from a statistical point of view, it's 3 big saves that he made on the evening out of the 3 big chances that Chelsea had. So, and his kicking was superb on Friday as well. Really, really good. So at the very, very least, it should be able to. I just think that would be the right way to go. But I don't know whether or not Farke will go maybe mildly defensive at the start and then go for it second half. I'm not sure. The one thing that I don't want us to do is sit off of them and sit deep, because that's not how we can play very, very well.
We concede, Gerry, we said this the other night. Every time we sit back, we concede, even against Forest. Although the Forest one was funny. I think if Ilya Groove doesn't get the bang in the face and there isn't that very long stoppage, I think Leeds probably go on and get a 4th. I think the momentum was with us and they just couldn't get going again after that break. And it kind of, not that Nottingham Forest got going, I didn't think that they did, but they kind of stayed at the same momentum that they were at, the same pace they were at, and Leeds kind of came down to meet them. But you don't want to be inviting pressure. There is an opportunity to rattle these guys a little bit. But when you talk about the lineup, this is not an easy decision for Daniel Farke to make. And I like this. We know Pascal Struijk is out of the game. So there is a possibility of Jakub Biel coming in at left centre back. He has played there for Udinese in a back 3, so he could easily do that. You keep the double right back with James Justin and Jayden Bogle, who were fantastic together on Friday night. And that way Leeds play, they like to come out in 4, and it gives them that double up on the right-hand side. And again, to Paul's point, if the pitch is going to be as big as they make it right now, it does give Leeds underlapping and overlapping opportunities there. But it's not an easy team to pick. I mean, who do you drop out if you go 2 up top? Because Okafor was very good, especially his defensive work the other night was very, very good. So it's a tough decision, but it does show we got a little bit of depth there now.
Yeah, you're looking at that bench the other night, definitely. And I think... I don't think he'll go in a match up front. I would like if he did, but I just don't think he will. And I think we'll see Brendan in there. Maybe the same team that started, obviously without Pascal. I think interesting to see, does he stick with James Justin? What a bargain, 10 million. What a bargain. We were told he was an injury prone and past his best. He was outstanding. I think Sky gave him man of the match as well. Darlow, excellent as well. We don't need to sit off. That wouldn't be the right thing to do without being stating the bleeding obvious, because we don't do that. Maybe when we're hanging on 3-0 up. I was worried at 3-0. I was frantic at 3-1 the other night. Ampadu's header back to the keeper needs to be discussed. Jesus. Yeah. I just thought 3-2. Yeah, I can see the headlines. Leeds lose a 3-goal lead. But anyway, that aside, he's been exceptional, Ampadu. And we keep saying this after we spoke about him at the beginning of the season. I mean, Gruev, you wouldn't think would start. You know, that if you spoke to us, but well, obviously we said it last week. Gruev won't start. He's got to start the way he played the other night. We thought Longstaff, good to see him back, but was a bit off the pace. And I think Goodmanson, he's brilliant going forward. Still a wee bit sloppy at the back, and we have to cut out those sloppy passes. But if he starts the match, it'll be exciting and interesting to see. But I don't think he will. I think he'll try and save him. And it's going to be tricky to see. As you said, difficult team to pick. How do you go for it? But I think we got to be in the front foot, because Chelsea don't like it up him, as somebody once said in Dad's Army. I think that's what did us good in the home match. I think we got to go for that. And our record at Stamford Bridge last, well, in the Cup, we lost 3-2 extra time. Late penalty when we lost 3-2 previous to that, and a 1-0 defeat. So I think, Chelsea are flaky. They're there to be had, but it will be really interesting to see what the team is. And we just got to keep the passing good, cut out the sloppy passing. Maybe what can Calvert-Lewin do to follow a diving chest? Maybe a falling shoulder or a dipped buttock.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was just a scorpion kick.
A scorpion kick.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, or just in off his hair, deflection off his hairband or whatever, his Alice band, whatever he wears. 10 goals this season.
Yeah.
That's not bad value, is it?
On the cheap as well. On the cheap.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard of his contract, it's probably not that cheap, but cheap
not
enough.
That cheap, no.
What should we sell him? If you were selling him now, he'd be worth 40, 50 million.
That's the thing. If Strand Larsen's worth 50 million, then Calvert-Lewin has to be up there as well.
Yeah, he's up there. Yeah, potential in the World Cup squad. Somebody even mentioned James Justin for England's World. Not that we care about England's World Cup squad, but got to be up there. Players who playing well like that. Yeah. Gruev will definitely be. If we're at the World Cup, he would have been player of the World Cup for Bulgaria, but they're not there, so it'll not happen.
But no, unfortunately not. But
Dan James is back. Dan James is back. Looked sharp.
And looked decent. Yeah.
A couple of chances. Maybe didn't make the right decisions or the way they went. But as you say, our bench, you look at all sorts of options there. Players coming on. Brendan looked like a 70s player who played at the baseball ground at Derby. He was covered in mud. The little Ninx was covered in mud, and he was knackered. And I'm just getting fed up of him. I really am. It's interesting. I'm just looking. 3 years ago today, we had that 2-2 draw at Old Trafford. Remember Scoobs?
Yeah.
And there's only 2-3 of that full 20 players left to be selected. Leeds, amazing the turnover in players, but we've got a strong squad. Feel sorry for Willie as well. Willie scored in that game, and he's struggling to get into the team, and I think he's not let us down this season. So who we pick, the upshot, I have no idea. That's my tactical ask, but I hope it's a good, strong team that put it up Chelsea.
Just off the top of your head, Gerry, and again, it is only a prediction, what's a realistic return from these 4 games?
I think 5 points, 2 draws and a win and a defeat, probably. Same. And that's been optimistic. If we get 4 points, I think it's not bad. I think Sunderland's got to be a home win. Man City's going to be tough. What nonsense at the end of the City-Liverpool game yesterday as well. It was a good Sunday league. Just give the goal. Everybody in the world said, give the goal. It's 3-1. It was funny. It was good. It was Keystone. Don't send the guy off.
There's no better advantage, surely, than getting a goal. Like, how's he stopping a goal scoring opportunity when the referee is the one that didn't give the goal? So, like, it's a goal if the referee leaves it. So just let the ball go in and just give the goal. Alan said the same thing.
When you're offside, they let it run till they're sure, and then they go back and look at it. So that was nonsense. But anyway, that's there's
that silly double jeopardy rule as well, isn't there? That if the goal had accounted, they couldn't send him off and thingy the goal as well. But it just the explanation of it just made no sense whatsoever at all.
We love to see. Yeah, sorry, go on, Jay.
Go on, okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, as a football fan, you love to see stuff with the keeper up the other end and the ball roll into that. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Just things when they say you don't like to see this in football, a good brawl, you love it. You want to see all this stuff. Yeah, don't stop messing with our fun. And I enjoyed that yesterday, and I was disappointed. Yeah, it's funnier than people falling on the luge or falling out of a bobsleigh at the moment.
I don't know.
The other stuff I'm watching. Or Scottish rugby players with their backsides hanging out in the scrum. That was funny. And on the Scottish rugby team, somebody had put their white kit, put a red shirt in with. If you noticed, they were wearing a very pink kit. But that was my sporting analysis of the weekend. Sorry, I'll go off on a tangent as usual. 4 points, 4 or 5 points is what I'm saying. Off that would
4
be
or 5 points. Yeah,
if we get 5 points, we're staying up. Definitely.
I think we might come out just with 3, and even at that, I think we could still have a gap. I think the more important games that are from Sunderland on, I think are the more important games. Paul, top of your head, what's the
the stress will be if the 3 points don't come till Sunderland, we've 3 defeats in a row. That's the worry. Get them points in early.
Totally get it. I would say, as Paul's already touched on, we're at this point of the season now where it's a case of everyone needs to hold their nerve. Fans, players, manager, pundits, everyone needs to just hold their nerve. As Paul again has said, this will get tight and then it will likely open up again. So everyone just needs to hold their nerve on this, because that 3 fixtures, Chelsea away, Aston Villa away, and Man City home, are not easy fixtures. And any side in the position that we're in, or just come into the Premier League, we'll be looking at those games going, we're probably not going to get anything from those 3. So anything from those 3 is a bonus for me. Beat Sunderland at home because it is under the lights. It's a 7:30 kickoff. That is important, Paul. And we've got Brentford, which has now been confirmed as an 8 o'clock kickoff as well. So it's 2 more games under the lights. That's 6 points, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we could just be relatively straightforward for once as a team and just go and win the next 4 games. Go and win the next 4 games. Go over 40 points. Go up to 41 points, and then we're all laughing. Let everybody else deal with it. We know that's. I'm talking dreamland territory there. In answer to your earlier question, excuse me, from a points point of view, I think 3 is a good return. I think 4 is a very good return. I think 5 would be exceptional over that period of games. So, listen, anything's possible. The one thing that's important to remember is that over the last, since Man City, we've lost 2 games. That's all that we've lost again from Man City. We've only lost 2 games in the number of games that we've played, and we've picked up points where everybody didn't think we would pick up points. I said to you yesterday, I still think there's a surprise result in us this season before the season ends. I've just, when you just have a slight feeling that somebody's going to be on their off day or something, or something to that effect. But it is gut check time for everybody, and we can't be throwing the baby out with the bathwater like a lot of us generally tend to do or like to do. But it'd be, be prepared to have nothing on the board whatsoever at all until we play Sunderland, and then hopefully we get a win against Sunderland and put the 3 points on the board. That's what we've got to look at. Yeah, I do. To Daniel Farke's point today, I think it was clever. I know we say like the whole, we go there with respect, but no fear. Don't go there with respect. But I think that's a saying more than a doing, because you don't want to do the opposition's team talk for them either. You don't want Liam Senior to go in there with his LinkedIn certificates and stick them to the wall and go, there, look, no, that's what he said. Lads, go and shut him up. So you don't want to give them that. So yeah, likely will go with respect because of who they are, but get stuck into them the second the first whistle goes. Other news, Paul, to talk about that popped up before we wrap up tonight. Ilham Elie, got a game of football, popped up in goal for the Leeds United under-21s, while Darragh Lambang was unfortunately sitting on the bench. He wasn't great, but he's going to look to finish his time at Leeds United in the position that he started his career at Leeds United, but a very different goalkeeper when you compare the two. Yeah, he's got floppy hair now, which throws me a little bit. That's true. It's completely different now. Yeah, he hasn't played in God knows how long. It showed. And it did. It showed last night when in the under-21s. I mean, to get beat at your near post, I mean, that's just typical Meslier. That's typical Meslier, getting beat in close quarters, near post like that. That's just typical Meslier. Blocking a pathway as well for me. I was just about to say that now. It's now starting to grate on me because I feel like that there is people that he's stopping from coming through, and people that he's stopping from being able to progress their career, or because he wants to A, get his loyalty bonus, and B, get a really nice fat signing on bonus. Do you know what? I don't begrudge him his loyalty bonus, because he signed a contract and it works in 2 ways. And him. So he's doing nothing wrong by seeing out his contract. I mean, that's the contract he signed, and that's the length of it, and he can see that out. I don't hold anything against him. I don't have any grudges against him, full stop. But I do think he's getting in the way of maybe a younger player coming through. Now, Darragh Lambang could have played in that match. Darragh Lambang probably won't be here at the end of the season either. But there's other young goalkeepers coming through there. Alex Baird's gone out on loan. Ryan Mahadi's out on loan. Maybe that's why they decided to bring him in. But yeah, it was interesting to see him in there. Like Johnny Houston plays there, but plays for the 21s for a very different reason. It's a coach on the pitch. It's there to help with the development of players. So, but yeah, an interesting one. Gerry, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I'd rather see Alex Kearns in goals, to be honest.
There's a guy who could play in goals for them and doesn't.
Give him a game. I want to see Alex Kearns make his second debut for Leeds when we're safe. I really do. And that's what they should do. Well, I don't see what's the point in playing Melia. As you say, I don't begrudge him. You know, contract's contract. He's entitled to sit it out. I think as a financial point of view, if you're a footballer and someone says you could go out on loan and get injured or whatever, or play for Rotherham. Yeah. What's the point in playing him? And will they play him again? I don't know. It wasn't great to look at. But good luck to him. I think, as we know, it's time for him to go. Well, it's been time. He should have went the end of last season, really. I always remember him for his save at Leicester when we won 1-0. We plucked it out of the corner and there was some great stuff. His first game against Arsenal in the Cup, and he was pinging balls all over the place. And he's been part of it, and he's made part of our promotion. And even when he got dropped last year, I think he maintained dignity. And I think from what you hear, he got in, he backed Carl Darlow when he played and that. So fair play, no, nothing against him. He frustrated the hell out of me at times, but that's goalkeeping. He wasn't as bad as Kiko could see. Oh Jesus, yeah.
Didn't he ask for Carl Darlow to be put in? I'm sure that's what
he did after the Swansea game. I've heard that.
Yeah, he asked for Darlow to be put in. He just said his head wasn't with it, and he doesn't want to risk what they've built up already or something. I think.
Yeah, he hasn't caused any problems behind the scenes. He hasn't traumatized out of Pram. He's been a very good professional by all accounts, and Daniel Farkas talked about that they kind of look after the players that are more professional. Jack Harrison was one of the ones he talked about as well. He got an assist the weekend, so
good ball.
He's got first year now. It was
I've seen Melia in the stand plenty of times, and as I said, loads of times, easy to get past on the stairs. No problem.
Always on his left hand side. Always on his left.
Always go, and he goes, and that's it.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it for the week. It's a quiet week. We've got the game tomorrow night. We'll have plenty to talk about after the game, likely as well. But it is a bit quiet on the ground. As we said, the Brentford game has been confirmed as an 8 p.m. kickoff. So that's another game under the lights. So we've got 2 more evening kickoffs at Ellen Road. So that's 6 points in the bag. We'll bank them right now, and we'll see where we get the other 3-4-ish points from between now and the next 13 games. But if you look at them, just to rattle through real quick before we wrap up, West Ham's next 4 games, because we have talked about Leeds' next 4 being tricky. West Ham's next 4, home to Manchester United, home to Bournemouth, away to Liverpool, away to Fulham. Forest, home to Wolves, home to Liverpool, away to Brighton, away to Man City. And Spurs, because they are in the mix, home to Newcastle, away to Arsenal. Sorry, home to Newcastle, home to Arsenal, away to Fulham, away to Crystal Palace. So everyone's dropping points.
There is every opportunity that Spurs might not pick up any points for the next 2 to 3 games.
Well, they've got Newcastle, who they're not.
I'll be the second Derby. Because Eddie's not looking good, is he?
Well, Newcastle need a reaction, so you got that game, and Spurs are below them, even though that tells you about that is. Then you have Arsenal, who are just beating everybody right now. They've got Fulham, who are sitting in 10th, and they've got Crystal Palace, who are 13th. So there's plenty of teams around them. The danger for Fulham, for Tottenham, is that they lose to the sides that, like Newcastle and Palace, who they need to get up to, and it just opens a gap between them.
Well, if we pulled off a result tomorrow night, it would scare the hell out of everybody above us. But on Wednesday, I'll be cheering that lad on with the big hair, that he's going to have a haircut.
He got it. He got it.
I thought it was 5 wins.
No, it was never going to happen. Yeah, it was never going to happen, so he just got a cut. Bit of a charity, I think, in the end. Yeah, he did a charity in the end, I believe.
I thought it was 5 games.
It was getting very big. It was viewable from the International Space Station at one point, like, so he needed a trim. Says me.
We don't do that, isn't it?
I don't know, but he's silly though, because he was getting sponsored by hair product companies and everything. Go get your bag, mate. Go get your money.
The last I saw, he was trying to do the biggest Mohican, but it just didn't work.
You could have got three nice toupees here, would have worked out of that one haircut, you could have wasted.
Like three toupees, lent them all to us, and then people could stop calling us bald.
Yeah. Handsomely bald. As somebody
streamlined for speed.
Somebody described us in it once, I heard.
I'm telling you, you should see how fast I can swim.
Oh, swimming hat needed. Save
I can't swim.
Yeah. I save money on hair gel and everything. So yeah, loads. So there you go. There are benefits to it. Anyway, My wife also told me she didn't like me when I had hair, so she prefers me bald. So there you go.
Yeah,
well, the half said she just doesn't like me. Anyway.
That's typical mine as well, actually.
On that note,
On that note, we'll wrap it up and say goodnight to you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. The news is out for today as well. You can check that out. There's a match review for the weekend. Check out Paul at the Leeds Therapy. Gerry Mack is down below. His details at JerryMack123 over on X. If you want Gerry's daily jokes and thoughts on football, they're all there as well. We will have the watch along over on bigup.com tomorrow night. And if you want to head over there already, the link will be down below. There is the prediction game that is open and available for the Chelsea game tomorrow night. Back on YouTube tomorrow evening then for the instant match reaction. Yeah, so there's lots happening. And we'll, fingers crossed, 3 points in the bag tomorrow night.
The Chelsea tomorrow night. Yes.
Fingers crossed. Right, folks. Peace out. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.